Good morning and welcome to your Saturday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. And I think I'm earlier than usual, but I can't tell because my phone is being used for this video. So I can't, and there's no clock around me. So welcome. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist. Here are some words of wisdom to get us rolling today. And as you can tell from my background, I am not at home. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome. Glad you found me, even though I'm early. Welcome. We'll see if anybody else rolls in. Maybe a slim crowd this morning because people aren't expecting me here quite yet. But as you can see, it's just dawn outside. My sister took her dogs out for a walk, so I figured it was quiet. Yes, I am early. Figured it was quiet without 3 dogs rambling around the house, so I might as well jump on a little bit early and have some peace and quiet. So we have a very cool card today. I'm sure it's going to make every single one of us wince. But let's start with some nice deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting your shoulders drop. In through the nose. Yes, it was. Out through the mouth. I adore that deck. It is an amazing group of cards. And the artwork on those cards is fantastic. And I've had many people over the years hunt for that particular card deck, and there's a truncated version that's out there, but it just isn't quite the same as this one where the cards take a significant chunk of time to read through, but they are pretty darn powerful, a deep dive as it were. So yeah, gotta love those. Today we have The Power of Surrender deck by Dr. Judith Orloff. And let's see what we're going to be surrendering today. Are you ready for this? Good morning, Carolyn. You found me. Glad you're here. A little bit early, but I wasn't sure exactly what the time was, so I figured better early than late. Oh, nope, did not. So another nice deep breath, and then I'll show you our card for today. There we go. And here it is. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. I'm going to move it closer so you can see the image of the girl there with the quiver of arrows. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. Make you wince a little bit? All right, here's what it says. It is time for a relationship to shift. It is time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Good morning. Glad you're here. Glad you found me. It's still telling me I only have one person here, but I know you and Joe Neal count as 2, so we're all good. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. All right? So 3 little lines. That's all it says on this card, but what a wallop it packs, right? It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. Let that just kind of resonate through your system. Reverberate's probably a better word. Just feeling. How does that feel to you? Do you feel a sadness when you think about a particular person where you're like, man, if they would just get their shit together? Good morning, Peggy. Glad you found me. Life would be so much better for them and for all of them around them. You can't do it. You can offer someone opportunity. They get to decide whether or not they're going to take it. And if they are not ready, it is not going to happen. Lesson one from becoming a therapist is if you are working harder than the client is, it's out of whack. It needs to be they're working on the project, which is them, and you're handing them tools. Okay, so you're at best the assistant. All right, they've got to do the project. And when we get in there and we muck around and here, let me show you how to do this. And no. We're crossing a boundary. They have to be more invested in getting healthy, getting well, improving their lot in life, etc. If you say, I have a tool to offer you, and that person says, yes, I'd love to see how that tool works, go ahead and show them. But then don't keep using the tool on their behalf. Hand it over. Let them learn how to do it. This was written for you. Yes, yes, yes. I know. I know. This is the nature of the beast. And part of the reason this happens is because of perspective. When we are outside of someone and we're in our curious observer, good morning, Cindy, welcome, glad you're here. We can see pretty easily what someone else needs to do to modify their life for the better. At least we think we can. Because if their path were meant to be different at this moment in time, it would be. Maybe there's more they need to learn by banging their head against the wall. And maybe those opportunities to learn it are going to cause them some harm or cause other people some harm. Sometimes it might even kill some people. However, the big picture still is if they aren't willing to take the tool that you hand them, you got to let it go. You have to let it go. And sometimes you have to walk away because you can't stand to watch it, right? So there's a person I know and love dearly whose brother died of a heroin overdose. And that was one of those circumstances where tools were handed, but he didn't take them. He didn't take them. You can't make someone do something they're not ready, willing, and able to do. Is that sad? Yes. Is that frustrating? Yes. Is it your duty to make them take that tool, to pry their hands open and jam that tool in there? No, not at all. Periodically, you can revisit and see, is there any willingness to take a tool at that point? If not, let it go again. Let it go with grace. So it's not stomping your feet and throwing a hissy and storming off. It is surrendering the idea that you can fix someone, surrendering it, letting it go, operating in grace, operating in grace. There are ways to stay in grace when someone around you is belching, wheezing, coughing, flailing. Good morning, Ruth Ann, glad you're here. And we just need to step into that grace-filled spot and allow them to belch, wheeze, and flail. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. Good morning, Beth. Glad you're here. Good morning to those who snuck past me. I was on a little early today because I don't have a clock here. So, how does it feel to you to surrender that idea that you have to fix somebody? That, yes, it's very hard to watch someone seemingly, I'm going to put the word seemingly in there. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Gwen. Messing up their life. But what if that's the exact path that they are supposed to walk? What if that is exactly what they are meant to go through to learn whatever lesson they're here to learn? Some of those lessons are brutal. They're harsh. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. And we need to allow the divine unfolding. When we, the human being, the fallible human being, decide, I know better than God does about how this ought to go, we muck stuff up. That's when we get into someone's business for, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or we insist that they do something our way and it falls on its face. Of course, because it's not what they're meant to be experiencing. We don't get to fix it. We don't get to fix it for someone else. We get to allow them to go through it themselves. Again, think of it as they're working on their project. They are their own project. And if we get in there with the tools and muck around, we're taking over. It's not our role. Again, we can be the assistant. We can hand them a tool. But if they throw it to the curb, they're sending you a clear message. They don't want you mucking around in fixing their problem, right? Learning to walk on and take care of you. Yes, yes, yes. And don't underestimate how valuable it is that you are modeling that self-care. They may pay attention, they may not pay attention. Does not matter. But there's great value in you modeling your own self-care, right? All right, so I'm going to read it one more time. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, open yourself to receiving this message on the level that you need to hear it, feel it, see it, live it. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. Good, good, good. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Yes, 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 yes. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. Right. And again, when someone's mentally ill, when someone's using drugs, when someone's in a horrible, battering relationship, when they're doing something that is dangerous, risky, etc., it is very hard to allow them to walk their path. But we must do it. We must do it. How do you know that what you're doing? Again, think about it in terms of that frame of mind of people learning to do something, people working on the project that is them. If you keep little kids learning to tie their shoes, if you keep jumping in, here, let me do it for you. Here, let me do it for you. Do they ever learn to tie their shoes? No. And oftentimes, are they resentful of you butting in to their struggle? Yes. Do it myself. Absolutely. Do it yourself. And keep messing it up until you no longer mess it up. And for many of us who are perfectionistic, it is hard to watch them do that. Eventually they figure it out. Or they don't. But think about the word eventually. We like to think of eventually in terms of this particular lifespan. Thank you, Cindy. This particular lifespan. What if the learning curve extends beyond this lifespan? What if we don't have to figure it all out this time around? What if where that person is exactly, precisely on track for what they're supposed to be learning and where they're supposed to be at this point in this particular life? What if? So then how do we deal with ourselves? We keep that image in mind. If I keep tying his shoes, he is never going to learn how to tie them. If I let him fumble and flail and whatever, eventually he's going to figure it out. Hopefully, this lifetime or another, right? Is this easy? No. Is that why it's happening in our world? Yes. No one said this thing was going to be easy, right? The lessons we learn for ourselves are not easy. So what about this lesson that we're going to learn on behalf of someone else? Surrender the idea you can fix someone. Breathe, breathe. Cry, be upset about it. Be mad that this is the way it is. But this is the way it is. And if you continue to hemorrhage your precious energy into trying to make someone do something they obviously are not willing to do, you're harming yourself and you're harming them. Step back, be the curious observer, breathe, tell yourself this is his or her adult version of learning to tie their shoes. It's a struggle. I have faith and trust they're going to figure it out. And that's a piece you can pour time and energy into, developing your own faith and trust that they're going to figure it out. This lifetime or another one, all right? I know this is hard stuff. I know this is really hard stuff. Keep breathing. You can do this. You can do this. Yes, you have a ton on. We all have a ton on our plate fixing ourselves. And sometimes, too, we need to step away from the fixing. We need to allow ourselves to be the hot mess, the beautiful hot mess that we are, right? Allow. We're at where we're at. Things are going the way they're meant to go. What can I do to love myself right here, right now, warts and all? Have an awesome Saturday. This was a heavy load. I know that. But you're all doing it. We're all doing it. Different people are putting in there who they're working on this particular thing with. But again, keep in mind, their journey is their journey, your journey is your journey. And I just finished as the garage door goes up, so here come the dogs. Awesome Saturday. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.